Dead Rails just dropped a new update with new classes and challenges. And do these classes have a lot of them? Let's find out. There's a new challenge or mission on the board in the lobby. There are 3 challenges that are the hardest: Pony Express to finish the game without using the train, Pacifist to finish the game without killing, and Unkillable to finish the game without dying. There are 3 challenges that are the easiest: Tame Unicorn, Escape, and Bounty Hunter. Tame Unicorn is to find the unicorn and ride it. Escape is to complete the game as usual. Bounty Hunter is to bring the 5 outlaw to the sheriff who has been killed to get the bounty. Let's take a look at the newest Dead Rails update and see what new classes are in it. First, there's the High Roller, a person who has the ability to sell items at double the price. But the downside is that multiples of 10 are more likely to be struck by lightning. It doesn't have any extra items or weapons except for the shovel. The High Roller class costs 50 bounds. The next class is Survivalist. If you get hit or shot by the enemy, your weapon's damage will increase based on the enemy's hits. It looks like the Survivalist class has a tomahawk weapon, but not a crucifix due to a description error. I played on the test server because I was in a hurry to record some video for other activities. So why the class description is wrong? Hopefully there will be improvements in the public version. The price of the Survivalist class is 75 pounds. It's a bit expensive if you buy it. The next class is Vampire. Its ability is to increase running speed and melee damage. The downside of the Vampire class is that it will lose health when exposed to sunlight. This description is wrong because the Vampire class only has a shovel. But there is an additional item or weapon from the Vampire class, is the Vampire Knife. The price of this Vampire class is 75 pounds. It's expensive. The next class is Conductor, which can speed up trains. The only drawback is that its maximum health will be reduced to half. Also, it doesn't have a melee weapon, a shovel. There are 2 coals in the starting item, but there is no shovel. This Conductor class costs 50 pounds, which is medium priced or rather expensive. The next class is the Miner. The ability is the existence of mining helmet accessories that have lights that always provide lighting, and also has an additional 2 coal. Miner class has no disadvantages. There is only the ability to light up the area. But the melee weapon has been changed to a pickaxe, and the price of the Miner class is 15 pounds. Very cheap to buy. The next class is Zombie. Its ability is to eat dead zombie bodies to replenish health. There is a downside to the Zombie class, which is that you cannot replenish your health with bandages and snake oil. The Zombie class has only 1 weapon, a shovel. The price of the Zombie class is 75 pounds, which might be a bit expensive to buy. The last is the Cowboy class, which has the additional items of a revolver with 2 boxes of revolver ammunition, saddle and horse. But the Cowboy class has no disadvantages and the price is 35 pounds. A bit cheap to buy Cowboy class. The first class to try out is Cowboy. And are all these new classes worth it or not? Let's find out. I've used the Cowboy class and we'll see what's in the class items box. The horse ran away quickly after opening the box, which contained a revolver that had been added to the inventory, 2 boxes of revolver ammunition, a saddle and a horse. Let's try to use the saddle to tame the horse that escaped from the open box. It's time to trap the horse against the wall first, so the horse can't run away. Well, the saddle is attached to the horse, and you can use the horse from the early game in the Cowboy class. But this Cowboy class is useful for finishing the game without using the train for challenges. Let's see if those 2 items can be sold or not. Let's find out. Starting from revolver first. It turns out that the revolver can be sold from the Cowboy class. What about the saddle? It turns out that this saddle cannot be sold from the Cowboy class because this item does not sell well. Next is to try out the Vampire class. If the Vampire class is exposed to sunlight, it will lose health slightly. The walking speed of the Vampire class will increase slightly. And what happens when you enter a room without sunlight? It looks like the health reduction will stop as soon as you step into the room to avoid sunlight. If it's in the train cockpit, it'll definitely be safe from the sun. What is included in the class items box of the Vampire class? It turns out that the contents of the class items box is a vampire knife, which means that this type of weapon corresponds to the Vampire class. Can this vampire knife be sold from the Vampire class? It turns out that it cannot be sold because vampire knife price is very large to sell. So why it cannot be sold is due to gain balance. If this vampire has increased melee damage, let's try using the shovel and how many hits to destroy the zombies. The total number of shovel hits to destroy zombies is 5. There is something strange. Usually without class the shovel hit is only 5. I think there is a bug in the class description says increase melee damage, but it doesn't affect it. It's time to test with the vampire knife. The total number of hits to destroy zombies is 5, the same as shovel. But if you hit an enemy with the vampire knife, the health will increase a little. That's what the life stealer of the vampire knife is all about. If it is night, the health reduction will stop because the night has no sunlight and the sun has already set. That's why this vampire class likes dark light, and the bright light of the sun can be damaging. The next class is Conductor, which can increase train speed. Let's see what the class items box from Conductor class contains. It turns out that it contains 2 coal, but does not contain a weapon, which is a shovel. But if you have a weapon game pass, you can use the weapon game pass if doesn't have shovel. Let's see if the train speed can be increased from the Conductor class. It turns out that from Conductor class, train speed can be increased from normal 65 to increased 85. The disadvantage is that enemies or zombies can easily destroy players with the Conductor class. The total hit damage from zombies to destroy Conductor class players is 4. Turns out this class is only for teaming up for speedruns, but is useless from a solo player. The next test class is the Miner class. The melee weapon of the Miner class has been changed from a shovel to a pickaxe. And the contents of the class items box of the Miner class are 2 coal. It seems that the Miner class is a bit of a good start because it can save money by having 2 coal fuels. When at night, the light will appear around it when using the mining helmet of the Miner class. We can see that the light of the lamp can already be displayed with Miner helmet. What's useful is that you can easily search for items in a dark place or at night by using the light of the Miner helmet's lamp. The next class is the Zombie class. What happens if you destroy a zombie and then eat it? My health is almost dying, and can I heal by eating zombies? It turns out that health can be restored by eating dead zombies, but the recovery is small. Let's see what happens when use bandages and snake oil from the zombie class after fighting zombies. It turns out that using bandages from the zombie class doesn't work. And then what happens when you use snake oil from the zombie class? It turns out that using the snake oil of the zombie class doesn't work. The only healing function of the zombie class is eating zombie corpses. But it's a small healing from eating zombies. It seems like this class is useless to use. If you dare to use the zombie class, then do the challenge. The next class is Survivalist. Once the game has started, immediately add the tomahawk weapons to your inventory. But the tomahawk of the Survivalist class can be sold from the beginning of the game. If a player in the Survivalist class takes a lot of damage, the weapon damage can also be increased. For example, the Mauser pistol can only fire one shot to the outlaw's head. Let's see how many shovel hits after taking damage. The total number of hits is 5, but there is a bug that melee weapon damage cannot be increased by the Survivalist class, just like the Vampire class. The next class is the High Roller. Let's see if the High Roller class can sell items at twice the price. After the item is sold, and what happens if you take a $50 bag of money? After taking $50, the money goes to $100, which means that the High Roller class has double the selling ability. Let's see what happens if you get struck by lightning. Because having 10 times the chance or easy to get struck by lightning from using the High Roller class. I was lucky not to get hit by lightning because from the High Roller class, I can get lightning strikes pretty easily. But it seems like there's a bug, right? I didn't get hit by lightning from the High Roller class. Let's see what happens when we complete the mission by bringing 5 outlaw to the sheriff. On the left is a display of the completed mission or challenge, which means I've completed the Bounty Hunter challenge. When I return to the lobby, I can see the contents of the completed challenge, and I have earned 5 bounds and 1 additional win. Okay, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like videos, comment, and see you soon.